Welcome to Reflect. We are twins who do podcast style movie reviews and commentary about movies. I want to thank those who have subscribed to our channel. Please continue to subscribe. We have more videos coming out. However, we do have jobs, so that's why there are like a few videos within each month. We also new to YouTube, so our equipment is not the best. Like we continue, sometimes we have issues, like mainly audio issues. But please continue to subscribe to the channel so we're able to improve our videos because we really do enjoy making commentary about movies. He's just a 12-year-old boy when he and his friend Kevin are walking through the woods on a bright sunny day with the wind blowing and no one in sight when the unthinkable happens. They are kidnapped. This is the premise of the 2020 movie, The Boy Behind the Door. Let's talk about how the two boys are kidnapped and whether they are able to survive. The movie gets right into the kidnapping. As stated before, Bobby and Kevin are walking on their way home when Bobby noticed that Kevin isn't there anymore. Bobby calls out for Kevin, but all he sees is a baseball like in this open field in the middle of the woods. As he picks it up, he gets snatched from behind and thrown into the trunk of a car. Then see Bobby mouth and hands are taped. However, Bobby managed to hit the trunk repeatedly to free himself. At this moment, Bobby is free. He starts to run from the long driveway in front of this like large, dingy looking house, where like old looking, until he hears Kevin, we assume, screaming from the inside the house. I wonder what you would have done. A, would you have stayed to help your friend? Or B, would you have ran to get help?
I mean, how close me and the friend are? No, I'm just saying we would just help the friend.
Yeah, I definitely would have ran back inside to help out, see what I could do. Bobby did the first thing. He made his way inside the home. The house was two-story, a large bookshelf on the first floor. It looked kind of dark and dingy inside, like it was no light coming in. Definitely like an old house because we always see it with like old appliances inside as well. Now let's go back to Bobby. He sneaks around the house to look for Kevin. Instead, he sees like from behind another door, he sees Kidnapper One, which we call him that because we don't learn any of their names, like the kidnappers' names anyway. Kidnapper One actually leaves the house, but he returns later. Bobby walks upstairs and here Kidnappers One, which I told you he returned, talking to Kevin, telling him that he is safe as Kevin continues to cry. Bobby then goes inside one of the other rooms to talk to Kevin through the wall. But he had to move like this bookshelf, which resulted in him knocking off like a snow globe, clear ball looking thing.
That you kind of like find like a gift shop.
Yeah, so this caused some noise. So Kidnapper One hears this noise, goes out in the hallway, and he also sees Bobby inside the hallway. Bobby runs inside of a closet, one of the many rooms in the house, because I feel like with so many rooms on the second floor. Mm-hmm. Kidnapper One finally finds him and ensues a chase, which ends in the kitchen. Bobby throws water from a pot behind him on the sink.
But I'm not sure if the water was even hot that was on that sink.
Oh, probably not.
He didn't scream or anything.
Yeah, so it's kind of like more of a distraction.
Yeah.
It splashes in the kidnapper's one face, and then that's when Kevin finds a knife and slices the guy's hand as a result, causing the kidnapper to slip, fall back, and hit his head. Then Bobby gets on top of him and stabs him to death. Bobby goes to the room we heard Kevin, tells him that the guy is gone and that he's going to look for keys to get him out. We see Kevin at like he's tied up with his at his ankles, and I think he had like something over his mouth as well. And he like in his empty room, he looked so frightened, and I'm guessing like a padlock on side, so he gotta look for a key. Bobby finds some keys, but they are not the right set. Instead, they are car keys. So he runs to tell Kevin he's going to drive to find help. As Bobby turns on the car, he mistakenly puts the car in reverse, which is understandable because he didn't know how to drive.
A 12-year-old, of course, is not going to know how to drive at that age.
It goes out of control, so he jumps out the car because it wouldn't stop. Bobby then goes into another room and finds a treasure chest. It's like kind of brown and dingy looking as well, which contains kids' clothes stained with blood on them and a large phone. Bobby goes to tell Kevin about finding the phone, but of course it's one of them old phones, so kind of like a landline. So he didn't even know how to work it. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, Kevin did, so he tells him how to plug. You just have to plug it up for it to work. Bobby gets the phone to work, but the men he killed in the kitchen watch start beeping.
We don't know what that beeping is for either.
Have no clue.
They just beep at different times.
Yeah, like some type of alarm. Mm-hmm. He calls the police, telling the dispatcher the description of the house they located because they're like out in the nowhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like no other. I didn't see any other houses around.
No.
At the same time, Kevin is in the room trying to pry open a gate. It's kind of like a vent looking thing because he want to use it as a weapon. Kevin noticed in the process that Kidnapper 2, because he's looking out he can see out the window that Kidnapper 2 is coming. He tells Bobby this, so Bobby hides, because Bobby's like in the middle of this like living room area and out in the open, and Kevin he tried to warn him by yelling down the steps. Kidnapper 2 comes in, turns on the TV, and Kevin managed at this point to unscrew the vent in anticipation to hit the guy on the head. Bobby panics, moves Kidnapper 1 body that's like dead in the kitchen, so it's hidden from Kidnapper 1 because they didn't want the what's called the
We want the Kidnapper 2 to see Kidnapper 1 dead
Acquaintance.
body. Yeah, acquaintance on them.
Yeah. And he also cleans the blood as well. Bobby continues his search around the house with a knife in hand, which I thought was smart. They'll keep their weapon on. Kidnapper 2 sits around watching TV. We don't see the kidnapper's face. And I wonder at this point, does the kidnapper even know that they snatched 2 boys? Because I feel like didn't even look around, just watching TV, la-di-da. Like, you left Bobby in the trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kidnapper 2, you remember or something.
Safe inside another room. And inside there are pictures of this little boy body, like naked inside. It's like just show like the torso area.
Like some arms, legs.
Yeah. He also finds a key inside the treasure chest. And Bobby checks on Kevin, who is crying, and then runs in the bathroom because he hears Kidnapper's 2 footsteps. A fight ensues in the bathroom, which Bobby is inside, and of course Kidnapper 2 is on the outside and trying to like pry open with an axe. Bobby cuts the kidnapper on the head, and just in time, the police show up.
So of course, Kidnapper 2 finally realized that the boy was still, the second boy was still there.
Exactly. And now let's talk about how and if Kevin and Bobby survive. So the cops eventually, as stated before, show up after the phone call Bobby made earlier. Bobby heard cop sirens outside, and Kidnapper 2 leaves Bobby in the bathroom to talk to the cops. As the kidnapper walks towards the door, the kidnapper muffles the screams, like Kiss the Kids scream, by like playing loud music.
I'm surprised the cops showed up.
Yeah, same. Because I feel like most movies, they don't even show up. Or at the end of the movie, they show up.
Yeah.
When the kidnapper goes to the door, we learn, drum roll please, she is a woman, which I was not expecting Kidnapper 2 to be.
That's a good twist that it was one of the kidnappers was a woman.
So as she's talking to the cop, the scene switches to Bobby trying to pry the bathroom window open. We learn during her interaction with the cop, her name is Miss Barton. The cop tells Miss Barton to turn down the music and asks if she's alone. She thought he was like flirting with her, like asking, "Is you alone, Miss?" Like, girl, you know he was not flirting with you.
Yeah, she had like asking her what she sees.
Right. She told him no, and he asked to see her ID. She had to go into the house to get it, which gave the officer a chance to search around the house while she was searching for the ID. The cop sees Bobby up the stairs, but before he could help, Miss Barton stabs him with an axe from behind. I know. As he runs, we get a little insight about why he was taken. So she's like doing this whole little monologue thing.
Yeah, about why the 2 boys was taken.
We learned she took Bobby and expected him to suffocate in the trunk. So that's why she didn't even search for him when she was coming in, because she thought he already died. She tells Bobby the people she works for would pay good money for him since he puts up a fight. And she states that he is not the usual choice for her buyers. I'm assuming because he was a black boy.
And Kevin was white.
Yeah. She finds him, but Bobby gets the upper hand and manages to hit her on the head and cuff her to the door, which was smart.
Yeah.
She shoots at him because she did have the gun that she stole from the cop. We find out as he continued to run, he started limping, so a bullet did hit his leg.
I'm like, man.
Bobby, he eventually finds the room Kevin was chained up to. To me, it looked like some type of attic. It was like up a steps with like a small room. At first, Bobby uses an axe to break the lock on the chain Kevin had on his ankle, which didn't work. Then he remembered the key he had found earlier in one of the rooms, which it did work, that key. Kevin and Bobby try to go down the steps, but he gets zapped. We see that he has a shock collar on his neck, so any step he takes down the stairs, he gets electrocuted.
I don't know, so crazy, like, because we barely seen that in the movies where they have like sensors throughout the house,
right?
Attached to this shock collar, and then anytime you move, like they made sure these kids don't leave.
Absolutely.
I'm like, geez.
Bobby tells Kevin that he has to find another way to help him. So, to Kevin's reluctance, Bobby leaves him.
So Bobby, Kevin, he was all like, "Don't leave me" and stuff. But Bobby had to go find another way to help him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Bobby ends up going past the woman again, who was So as he passes the woman, she was able to grab his leg. Bobby cut off her finger with pliers he found on the ground and ran outside. Bobby ends up passing out under a tree from the bullet wound in his leg.
Like, get up, get up.
And then Kevin, he knows from the window above that Bobby passed out by the tree. So he tried to get to Bobby. So he endured the shock and ran to help Bobby.
Yeah, take to the backs.
In another scene, we see Barton manage to uncuff herself. Kevin uses the pliers next to Bobby to cut off the shock collar, and he helped Bobby to his feet. So both boys, we were able to make it to the cop car and find a radio for help. Barton came out the house with a bat and tried to hit the cop window, which didn't work. So she eventually come outside and tried to hit the window to, break it free so she could get to the boys.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't work. So she leaves and comes back with a key. She drags Bobby out the car and was going to axe him, but Kevin comes out the car with a taser and zaps her with it before she could kill Bobby. So both boys, they eventually run to the woods, hiding from the woman. I hate when one person is injured, and you gotta try to help them go and stuff.
To slow you down.
So a cat and mouse chase ensues at this point. I'm like, how long the cops coming? Because I feel like they radioed, and of course they're gonna check on their other cop friend. They left there. Like, how long is it gonna take for the cops to come?
Exactly.
So the woman, she eventually finds the boys. They get into the tussle. But before she could kill them, an officer comes up from behind and shoots the woman in the head from behind. That's a little bit graphic, but yeah. All the cops show up at the end. So at the end of the movie, the boys are just sitting on this beach and all is well. I'm not sure if it's the next day, next week, but
yeah,
just standing on the beach. Yeah.
It was kind of, I think a little bit nighttime.
Yeah, maybe. So just a little final thoughts about the movie. I like the movie gets into the kidnapping. It also happens in one day and was a little bit suspenseful, which I really like. I thought it was on the realistic side, given that Bobby and Kevin made some good decisions and stuck together. The only thing I didn't like was that we didn't know why the kidnapper did what they did. I mean, they kind of did it. She did a whole monologue, but it wasn't really
yeah. With his clients. Why did how many other boys did she?
Yeah, was it a human trafficking situation or what?
I guess it is.
Yeah. And I feel like people who may watch will probably want to know more about the two boys as well. They didn't give any background stories. All we seen at the beginning was them wearing that baseball kind of shirts and the baseball they was playing with. That's the only thing we seen at the beginning. So
we never seen their parents.
No.
We never knew about their backstory, but
it wasn't a long movie, so
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, something like that, 6, 7, average, kind of, a little bit above average, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was just our review of the movie. Like the video, check out our other videos, like those as well. And like we said before, we're trying to do more videos. So please subscribe. Please subscribe. So just to help us out a little bit. And thank you so much for listening to Reflect.
Bye.